Oh, good evening, parents. I thought I would take a couple of minutes while my son is feeding dinner to his stuffed giraffe to talk to you a little bit about vocabulary. I got an email from a parent tonight asking about what they could do at home to help their student with vocabulary. They noticed on the MAP score that we sent home that the student was just scored in the average slash low category for vocabulary, and so I just kind of wanted to give some ideas for parents who are possibly asking the same question or thinking about the same things with their students. So what I recommended um, was to actually get some like real vocabulary work in. The tough thing about vocabulary is that truly the best way to improve vocabulary is to read more. Um, that's really kind of what reading is. If you think about it, if you think about what you do when you read, you take these words and phrases and you combine them with other words and phrases in new ways. And so if I'm reading a book about food or something like that, I'm taking these words about food and I'm combining them in new ways. It's words I've probably seen before in other contexts, but this book is helping me see them in this new way. And so the problem with if you don't have a big vocabulary, the problem is there's a lot of words you don't know, and so you can't connect them to these other words, and that's where you get struggles as a reader. So I feel bad as a reading teacher to say to a parent, well, if your student struggles with vocabulary, they need to read more. The odds are, if your student struggles with vocabulary, they probably don't enjoy reading very much. And it feels a little like a cop-out for me to say, I know your student doesn't enjoy reading, but the way to get them better at reading is for them to read. That's the truth, but it's tough. It's not the best advice because it can be turned into pulling teeth at times. So I'll give you my recommendation, and then I also, as you guys either know or are about to find out, I'm pretty active on Twitter. I've got this huge network of educators that I can talk to pretty much anytime about this exact kind of stuff. And so I'll share with you my advice, and then I'll also drop in a few screenshots of what they advised. So my advice is, like I said, read more. Get them reading high interest stuff that they actually want to read, and then get them reading at their level. I apologize, I forget if the sheet that we sent home about MAP scores has their Lexile level or not, but excuse me, if it doesn't, I'd be happy to look that up for you and get that information to you and help you find good books for your student to read. We're doing that kind of thing at school anyway, getting kids into books that are at their level, so anyway, I can help with that. So reading more, that's number one. Number two, things to actually improve vocabulary. You could go to this website, freerice.com, and I'll put a link to it in the blog post. But freerice.com, it's a what do you want to call it? You get double on it. So you can improve your vocabulary by seeing words and working with. It's kind of a game type of thing. But then what you're doing is you're actually filling up a bowl of rice, and when that bowl is filled, it gets donated, truly, to a country in need of food. And so you're giving away free rice just by practicing vocabulary. And there's a lot of cool different content you can practice on there. There's math, and there's English, and vocabulary, and art, and all kinds of stuff. Geography, all kinds of different things. So apologize for the noise. My son is now washing his hands after he is done feeding. So all right, I'll drop in those things. I just want you to kind of see how this Twitter thing works for educators. I asked them what they thought I should do, and I got a bunch of good responses back, so I want to share those with you. So one actually is from our superintendent, Dr. Dave Wilkerson. He's in it, and he knows just what he's talking about too. So, all right, have a good night. As always, any questions you have or comments, concerns about your students, anything like that, always feel free to drop me a line.